I remember my first real job, fresh out of college, full of ambition. My boss, let's call him Alex, was charismatic, brilliant, and utterly captivating. He praised my work in front of everyone, made me feel like I was his star employee. I was on top of the world. Then the cracks started to show. A small mistake on my part, a typo in a report, would trigger a public dressing down. He'd say things like, "I thought you were smarter than this," or "Are you even trying?" The praise was a setup, a way to build me up, just to tear me down. I'd rush to defend myself, listing my achievements, explaining the context, desperately trying to reclaim the star employee status he'd given me. I was completely hooked. Every day became a battle. He'd subtly twist my words in meetings, making my ideas sound foolish. He'd forget to invite me to important calls, then blame me for not being up to speed. Each time, I'd take the bait. I'd argue. I'd write long, detailed emails proving my point, correcting the record. I was exhausted, anxious, and my work was suffering. I was so focused on winning these pointless arguments that I was losing sight of my actual job. My colleagues would watch from the sidelines, their eyes full of a pity I didn't understand. I thought I was fighting for justice, for my reputation. In reality, I was just a puppet in his show. He fed on the drama, the conflict. My emotional reactions were his fuel. The more I fought back, the more powerful he seemed to become, and the more isolated I felt. The turning point came during a performance review. He listed a series of fabricated failures, each one more absurd than the last. He claimed I'd missed deadlines I'd actually met early and criticized a project that had been a huge success. The old me would have exploded with righteous anger, pulling up emails and project plans to prove him wrong. But this time, I was just ... tired. I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw the flicker of anticipation in his eyes. He was waiting for the fight. He needed it. And in that moment, I realized the only way to win was not to play. I just nodded. I said, "Thank you for the feedback. I'll take it under consideration." The change was immediate and profound. The look on his face was a mixture of confusion and disappointment. He had his script ready, and I had just refused to say my lines. It was like unplugging a machine. From that day on, I adopted a new strategy. When he'd try to provoke me with a backhanded compliment, I'd just say, "Thank you." When he'd blame me for something that wasn't my fault, I'd say, "I'll look into it." I stopped defending, explaining, and justifying. I disengaged. This is the grey rock method. I made myself as boring and unresponsive as a grey rock. There was no emotional reaction for him to feed on, no argument to win. He didn't give up right away. He tried to escalate, to find new ways to get a rise out of me. But my response was always calm, brief, and professional. I communicated through email whenever possible, creating a paper trail. I focused all my energy on my work, delivering excellent results and building alliances with my colleagues. The less I engaged with his drama, the more my real contributions began to shine through. He started to lose interest. It's hard to play a game of chess when your opponent refuses to move their pieces. He eventually turned his attention to a new target, someone else who was eager to fight, to prove their worth. Leaving that job was one of the best decisions I ever made, but the lesson I learned was invaluable. You cannot win an argument with someone who isn't interested in the truth. They are interested in control, in power, in the emotional reaction they can provoke in you. By refusing to be baited, you take back your power. You starve them of the attention they crave. It's not about being passive or weak. It's about being strategic. It's about recognizing that your energy, your peace of mind, is your most valuable asset. Don't waste it on battles that are designed for you to lose. Protect your focus, do great work, and let your results speak for themselves. The silence can be the most powerful response of all.